Michigan Outdoor Obsessions Beyond the Backyard is brought to you by Ultimate Archery and Outdoors, Ultimate Deer Products, Red Light Food Plot Seed Company, Edge Attracts Incorporated, Jay's Sporting Goods, and Tacticam. So you just got 40 acres to hunt on. You're walking on the first time. How are you finding that spot to put the stand at for the first time?
First thing is I am going to look for trails and water and any type of food source that's there already. Being said that, just standard, just walking around trying to find cover. Um, Try to if I'm walking it for the first time, and then water, food, cover, those are kind of my main things I'm gonna really pay attention to. So say I got a thick portion over here, I got a swamp over to the north end of this property or something like that, and I
Yeah.
got a bunch of oaks up here. Well, then I know kind of how they're gonna travel
Yeah.
because most of the time they get pressured. Their bedding area is gonna go more towards the cover. Acorn trees, they're going to feed multiple times a day. So it's going to be a travel, and they obviously got to go to water. So try to find the central point between all of that. Setting stands, bedding more towards the morning, food more towards night. That's kind of how I would approach it. From there, I would, just trail cameras. I mean, try
I'll
to
tell you
get
what. I'll tell you what.
timing
My
and
first
then
my
go
first
over
couple
there.
years hunting, I used to take me 2 or 3 years to really like. If I got a new property, it would take me 2 or 3 years to really wrap it up, like figure out like how they actually moving.
Right.
I feel
Yeah.
like if you have access to a property, if you're going to lease a property, if you have the chance to try to get in there in the winter. The winter, I feel like, is the
Yep.
best time to pinpoint exactly how they move.
Win-
Um,
winter, winter, fall. I
Yeah,
guess is.
winter, fall.
I
I mean,
mean,
you
I,
see
I mean,
those. You
obviously
can
you're
see those
hunting.
physical snow trails, and
Yeah.
and find those intersections of the 4 different trails or 5 different trails
Yep.
that are coming together. I don't know
Yep.
how many times now I've shot in bucks out of stands I've set for the first time by putting them on intersections, put them on
Yep.
corridors of different
Oh yeah.
trails.
Yep.
But
So.
another key feature that I have seen over the years is find your scrapes. Find your scrapes
Mhm.
from last year. Walk around. I don't know
Yep.
how many times like a couple years ago I got permission to hunt this 20 acres. Went out there the very first time, found 5 scrapes in a row, put a stand, and the first time I sat, I had a 140-inch buck come inside shooting range. Just because I feel like
That's
scrapes are your most reliable sign of
there.
movement. They're going to
And
scrape
though
typically underneath the same trees every year for the most part.
for the part. Yep.
Yeah. Rubs, I've always taken rubs as more of like a in the moment type of thing. Like they're rubbing by, they get that feeling, they want to rub their head.
Yeah. Yep.
Where scrapes are like they have a certain, this is my area, this is my dominant, this is where I leave my marking.
Yeah.
Um,
Scrapes are more of the communication point. They always
yeah.
call those. That's like letting everybody know which deer are in that area.
Yep.
All the does, all the fawns, all the bucks. They know that's kind of their stopping point. Um, that's how I take scrapes. That is the focal point of letting everybody know what's going on. So
And even get out. Hey,
yeah.
we got Google Maps now, man. Get out Google Maps.
Hmm.
Look at your pinch points. Look how, and it's a different thing because where I grew up downstate by Barry County there, and it's all like farmlands, and
Yep.
then it's fence rows and little woods. Pinch points are pretty easy to find because
Oh yeah, that's
they're
it's
they're
easy.
gonna
Yeah,
they're
that's the
gonna
easy
walk
one.
they're
Yeah.
gonna walk a fence row that comes off a road. They're gonna go all the
Yep.
way back to the woods. Now you get
Yep.
up here in Charlevoix County, it's a little harder
You
to find that.
swamp.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
woods for
Yep.
miles.
Yep.
So it's not so easy to find that dedicated pinch point.
Right. And like you said, I use Google Earth, Google Maps, everything for even setting up food plots and whatnot, because that'll tell me too where my openings are. And now that I know where the travel corridors and the trails are,
Mhm.
I'll kind of draw them on the map and go, okay. I mean, obviously, I'm walking through the woods. I didn't realize these two trails kind of come close to each other. So I'm going to kind of get something set up here. So I mean, that's what I would do. Google Earth helps. And then going back to your point too of, that fall and winter and late, I would say really early spring. deer are gonna change their patterns. Their summertime to fall. We hunt in the fall. Follow those travels that they're gonna take because in the springtime, they're always got a different travel to them. Always.
Yeah.
They always change their pattern. Michigan is the most highest pressured state. I can't say that about, Ohio or Indiana, but Michigan is super pressured, and as soon as deer pressure starts kicking in, they go back to the old reliable trails of going, through the thick cover, through, the nastiest stuff you can possibly find. So, they'll change their travels all the way up. So I would just like you said, check and fall, winter, and that early spring for the different signs that you come across and everything, and kind of put a game plan together for that next
Plus just
fall.
plus just putting stands up
So
in the
yeah,
winter or what are gonna be better because a lot of times these
yep,
guys early year used to go out there, you cut too many branches, and
yep.
then you're exposed once all those leaves fall off. Which
Well, that
I've actually
yeah,
found myself.
yep,
I only, if I have a choice, I'll only hunt on a pine tree. If
yeah.
I can hunt out
Well,
of a
that's all northern Michigan is
so
though.
well, yeah, it makes it easy.
Yeah,
But
yep,
I just have so
yep.
much cover, man. Like my tree I'm in right now that I shot 2 bucks out of this year. I used to hunt what 25 feet in the air, 20 feet in the air downstate,
Yeah, oh yeah, yep.
and because the pine tree I'm in, I'm probably 10 feet off the ground, but I'm also like 8 feet back in these pine boughs that are out in
Oh
front.
yeah, it's thick. Yeah, oh
They,
yeah,
they, they can't pick me out, man. They look right at me and they don't know I'm there, and I'm only 10 feet
yep,
off the ground.
yeah. Oh, and the pine sap and all that smell probably covers you up a little bit too. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, I'm down south here in southern Michigan. So, yeah, like you said, it's wide open. If you don't pay attention to what you're cutting down and you got to cut shooting lanes, and next thing you know, yeah, come, October 31st, you look around and you're like, it's pretty bare out here. Like, I'm standing out like a sore thumb. So, kind of something I always use too is get a tree as round as you too, so the deer have a harder time picking you up.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of go off of that too, or utilize branches and whatnot. But I don't know. There's little things we've learned over the years that just kind of help a little bit. But
And
the
like,
pine tree,
and I
pine,
said in the beginning, I'm not an
yeah,
expert. You're not an
yeah.
expert.
I'm
I
no,
don't claim to be
God,
a pro. I'm not some pro staff. I'm
no.
just a guy that I'm going to tell you what I do. If it's hey,
Yep,
that's a good idea, maybe I'll use that too. Cool. If you don't
yeah,
want to use it, that's cool too.
yeah.
I'm never going to claim to be this expert hunter, this expert fisherman. That's not what I'm here for. So like if I can
Okay,
share my insight or what I've done, and you can
yep.
use it to help you, or you can use what Tony's done, then by all means do
I
so.
agree.
But we're not
Yeah,
here to we're not here to try to
no,
preach the
we're
preach
just
what you should be doing.
speaking from all of our experiences and people that we've learned from too. So it's nothing that, yeah, that we can't make everybody better about what we've learned from. So
Yeah.